Mark, Rudy Giuliani is a formidable presence. I first started covering him in 1982 when he was the mob-busting U.S. attorney here in New York. He cut crime as New York City mayor 2 terms, changed the culture of this city, guided New York through 9/11. He has put his heart and soul into everything he does, into his current mission. And he was even on with Maria Bartiromo this morning, despite this diagnosis of coronavirus. What is the reaction right now at the White House?
Eric, good afternoon. Well, I'm sure the president also sending his well wishes to Rudy Giuliani, somebody that not only people in New York know, but is known nationwide as a hero after 9/11. And of course, most lately as the president's strongest defender when it comes to the election legal challenges. The president broke the news less than an hour ago on where else but Twitter. This is what the president had to say. He said, quote, Rudy Giuliani, by far the greatest mayor in the history of New York City and who has been working tirelessly exposing the most corrupt election in the history of the U.S., has tested positive for the China virus. Get better soon, Rudy. We will carry on. As I mentioned, Giuliani has been one of, if not the most loyal defenders of President Trump. He supported President Trump for years, endorsing him back in April of 2016. He's a mainstay on cable news, as Eric mentioned, also making an appearance on Fox News earlier today. No indication then that he had known he was tested positive. He certainly didn't say anything about this diagnosis. We have not gotten an update on his exact condition, how he's feeling. We've reached out to him, waiting to hear back on that. But the president, in his own tweet, offering his well wishes. But Giuliani has also faced some criticism, as you see right there outside these state capitals, speaking to a number of people. He was in Georgia, he was in Michigan this past week without wearing a mask. There were a lot of people that would crowd him when he would go into those events. I was at the one in Michigan. Huge swarm of people that would be out there, but the former New York City mayor, the latest news there, testing positive for coronavirus. Meantime, the president keeping a fairly low profile today after that stop in South Georgia last night, campaigning for those 2 Senate GOP candidates, his first rally since last month's election. In his speech, the president said the stakes in the Peach State Senate runoff could not be any higher.
The most important congressional runoff probably in American history. There's never been a time like this where you have 2 at one time. At least you have 2 beauties. And you know what? You also have 2 beauties running against them.
Not to be outdone, Democrats are relying on their own high-profile surrogates. Former President Obama campaigning virtually on Friday. Democrats say more than 500,000 people watched his event and that the party saw a huge surge in volunteers afterwards. Tonight, we are also watching what will be going on with the Food and Drug Administration. This week, it's expected to hold an emergency meeting to discuss whether or not to authorize Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine candidate, a vaccine that's believed to be some 95% effective. Today, we heard from the Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, who says HHS is working hard to distribute the vaccine as soon as it's approved.
We're looking at a really historic accomplishment. 6 months from when, at the president's direction, I created Operation Warp Speed. We're looking at having multiple vaccines FDA approved and close to 40 million doses of FDA approved vaccine releasable by the end of this year.
The White House has made it clear it would like to see a vaccine approved sooner rather than later, urging the FDA to get to work. The FDA pushed back last week, saying that they needed this time to evaluate the data. So we'll watch that. But Eric, as you were mentioning the news at the top of the hour, that Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer, somebody who's a friend to the Trump family and a well-known, not only where you are in New York, but all over the country, testing positive for coronavirus. Many of us, of course, wishing him well. Eric.
Headlines.
That's
with us today with the headlines. He is with us today with the headlines.
That's right. Good morning. Listen to this. Rudy Giuliani is reportedly in the hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. President Trump's personal attorney tweeting, quote, "Thank you to all my friends and followers for all the prayers and kind wishes. I'm getting great care and feeling good, recovering quickly and keeping up with everything." The president initially announcing the positive COVID test, tweeting in part, quote, "Get better soon, Rudy. We will carry on."